Hello, welcome to this second session of our class Social Data Science. And based on the first session where we talked about data science in general, we would like to specify the noun data science for good or social data science. So in order to describe social data science, we follow the following agenda. First, we will talk about social good in general. So we try to define the word social good and try to provide an idea about the components of social good. And then, based on this definition, we will talk about the related data of social good. So here we will provide an overview about the relevant data sets that are needed in order to conduct social data science. And then we will talk about the expression data science for social good. As you will see, there are several definitions of social data science or data science for social good, and there are organizations that are named data science for social good, and these organizations differ in several ways that will be described in this section. Then at the end of the session, we will talk about the goal of data science for social good. So, and about the person who are involved in this area. But let us start first by talking about social good in general. So, what do we mean when we talk about social good? Let us start with a kind of broad definition of social good based on Barak 2020. So, a broad term that refers to services or products that promote human well-being on a large scale could be an explanation for social good. So in general, we refer to social good as common good, and it is something that benefits the largest number of people in the largest possible way, such as clean air, clean water, healthcare, and literacy. To be a bit more specific in these terms, let us look at the following definition. The topic of social good goes in hand with the challenges of our society. And when we talk about challenges of our society, we talk about the current challenges of global warming, human rights abuse, food shortages, rising house prices, inadequate responses to natural and man-made disasters, and all the social challenges that we are facing nowadays. And from our point of view, when we talk about social good, especially data science in the field of social good, we talk about data-driven solution to these topics. And to be a bit more specific or to sharpen the focus here, when we talk about social good, we talk about organizations that are dedicated to help society with these mentioned challenges. So in the remainder of the whole presentation, when we talk about data science for social good or social data science, we talk about data-driven solutions that are located within non-profit organizations or public organizations that are there to tackle these challenges. So this brings us to the point where we have to talk about the data. So where to find data for those issues and what kind of data do we have in mind when we talk about data for good? And this is addressed now in this session. So in this section, we talk about the data that is linked to these topics that we just mentioned. So first of all, let us think about NGOs. So as I said, when we talk about data science for social good, we of course think about the topics, but for us, we think about the locations, so the organizations, the physical organizations that tackle these issues. And similar to corporates or to other organizations, when you are organized as an organization, you have a kind of infrastructure and you have a kind of operational process that you follow. And within this infrastructure and within this operational process, you have a lot of information that are passed from one point to the other. And Therefore, you have a lot of data that might be collected. In general, we separate the data sources into external and internal data sources. So the internal data sources are those that are within an organization. So when you are processing information from A to B, or if you have an operational business, so if you, for instance, help homeless people, or you help animals in the street, or you provide service to unemployed people, then you do have internal data which is collected via your operational services. Also, there are external data sources. External data sources are data sources that provide data that fits into your scope or into the topic that you are dealing with. To give you an example here, if you, for instance, help unemployed people in order to find a job, then there might be external data that is relevant for you. For instance, the general unemployment rate, or job offers, or general market trends that you might include into potential trainings for unemployed people, for instance. So on the right-hand side, we try to summarize the idea of internal and external data and provide more details on the potential data sources. So let us start with the internal data content. So when you think about an organization that has social or topics of social data science in scope, then you might separate the data within this organization into operational part of data and the outcome data. So the operational part of the data is linked to the daily processes that are conducted within the organization. What does it mean? What are daily or periodical processes within an organization? Similar to normal corporates or companies, you do have to deal with people who work there. So therefore, you have to deal with information on staffing. So what kind of positions do you have within the organization, and who is working in this operational branch, and whom do you select for each task? So this human resource related data is all connected to staffing. The next thing are the clients, so the beneficiaries. So if you help unemployed people, for instance, or people in the street like homeless people, then you can count them as clients. Or if you offer some goods that people can buy, then we'll talk about the consumers of your products or of your services. So data on your beneficiaries can be subsumed on the clients or consumer data. Then on the next branch, you do have services that you provide. So if you're an organization and you provide services or products to the society, these data points or the information about the services can be subsumed under services in general. And another thing is, if you are an NGO or a social organization, you need funding or finances. So the information about you, the whole back office of your organization is subsumed under funding and finances. So here you collect all the data about funding, about the monetary cash inflows, cash outflows that you have to manage. And this is stored somewhere in the organization, and this is what we subsume under funding and finance. Despite the operational data, you also do have outcome data. So on the one hand is that you have information on your processes. So the structure of your operations can be subsumed under processes. So if you have your documented work streams, or if you have documented job descriptions, these count as processes. And from a data point of view, these are relevant information that might help for data science processes. The The next outcome data can be described as outcomes. So the result of your services. So what are the products or the services that you provide? And this can be subsumed as the outcome. And then linked to the outcome, you do have the impact. So in ideal case, you do have some kind of impact measurements. So how does the organization track the impact? So how do they track the impact they provide in terms of services or products? Are there any measurements? Are there any KPIs? How this impact is measured? And this two components, operational and outcome data, is a general way to subsume the existing data within a corporate or within a social organization. So here you can see that corporates and social organizations are, from a structural point of view, similar. Then, in addition to the internal data, you do have the external data sources. Here, when it comes to external data sources, you can talk about government agencies, so publicly available data provided by the regional or national government. And these can be data like unemployment rate, like the market trends, for instance, or general information about socio and demographic data. Other organizations might also provide data which are not necessarily government related. So here on the next slide, we'll also show you one example for that. But this is in general, these are data providers that provide open data. That means data that is accessible for everyone, and data shared for use of collaborations. So these are, in general, the types of external data that help social data science data scientists in order to help organizations. And as you can see, regarding the internal data, you have a variety of internal data. So this basically is linked to the variety of data science projects that might be conducted within an organization. So when it comes to the external data, we would like to provide some examples. And here we do have open data available in the World Wide Web, and we provide the example of Our World in Data.com. And here, let me just switch to the homepage. If you go to ourworldindata.com, you see that this is a database provided by the University of Oxford. And depending on the project that you have, or depending on the topic of the data science project that you have, you might achieve interesting external data that is provided by this platform. Here, I just would like to provide an example how to get the data. Here, if you browse by topic, you will be able to look into different areas of topics that your project might be in. For instance, if you choose health and the first point, global health, then you get the introduction to the data. You get interactive charts on global health. And for instance, here we talk about life expectancy. You get the information and you get charts and data. What you have here is, in this example, the life expectancy over time for different countries and regions. And if you're interested to work with the data, so that you're not only interested in the graph and in the information that is provided here, so if you need the data for your data science project, you might click on the map so that you get a nice visualization. So you get inspiration how to present the data, and you can download the full table to work with the data to put it into a model or into your individual analysis. To download the data, you do have the option here, and then you can download it in a format that you can work with the data. So this is an example of an external data source, and we also would like to mention Statista.com. Here we have to say it's in German language, so this is probably useful for German data science projects. However, there are a lot of other open access data outlets out there, and as the data science projects are kind of individual, as the internal data is also individual, we would like to refer to the individual projects in order to present the relevant data sources that are linked to project that will be presented in the previous, in the next session that we'll provide. So after we talked about internal and external databases which are relevant in order to conduct successful data science projects, we would like to talk about the data science for social good now. So based on the social good definition and based on the data sources, now we do have the noun data science for social good. And data science for social good in general is a combination of the general word data science that we already introduced in the previous session to the field of social good. That means in general, the scope of data science for social good is to support projects that are relevant for social issues and that help in the organizations that try to solve these social issues. So what is data science for social good? Technically, it's a summary of all initiatives that have joined the Data Science for Good movement. So data science for social good is a label, or it's a brand. And in our project, we found out that data science for social good is a label that summarizes volunteer initiatives of volunteers who provide data science service for social organizations. And it is, or we have to say that we use this data science for social good noun in our project as a noun in order to summarize all those initiatives. However, we have to say that there are also initiatives that are not called or not named data science for social good initiatives. They also might have different names like DataKind or Correlate, just to name other two quite well-known initiatives. However, it is all about data science that is centered on the movement of data science for social good. And we would like to say that data science for social good is a sum of all associations. Let us go to the starting point of this brand data science for social good, or about the initiative. And the starting point goes back to 2013. This was the first time that the University of Chicago came up with the name Data Science for Social Good. And here, the University of Chicago is still offering data science for social good summer courses. So therefore, the name or the initiative Data Science for Social Good had its origin in the United States at the University of Chicago. And the mission of this initiative was to foster the use of data science for positive social impact. Therefore, the University of Chicago trained and support data scientists, and the projects are meant to support non-profit organizations and to develop tools to ensure that data science knowledge is used in a positive and fair way to benefit people all over the world. So this was the initial thought. And here we also have to distinguish between the university that provides these initiatives. This is mainly connected to summer courses in the field of data science where researchers, PhD students or master students gather together and work on predefined data science projects that are based on data sets which are relevant for social organizations. On the other hand, the scope of our project is not to organize or to analyze this academic initiative. The scope of our project is the definition of organizations, or is to help the organizations that comprise volunteers who provide this data science service in their free time. But we'll come to that. So therefore, data science for social good in general is a dynamic and purpose-driven field. It combines the methodology or the skill set of data science. I hope you remember the skill set comprises computer science, statistics, mathematics, and domain knowledge. And it is meant to tackle the social and humanitarian challenges. So basically the applications of data science projects in the field of social sciences or of humanitarian challenges. Therefore, it's a transfer from computer science or from well-paid knowledge that only corporates might pay to get this knowledge. It's a transfer from for well-paid jobs to social sector that is not able to pay these wages. So then, who else is doing data science for social good? And as I already said, it's not only the University of Chicago that offers data science for social good projects. Everyone who is interested in data science can volunteer in so-called data science for social good initiatives. And these initiatives are, apart from the University of Chicago, are organized all over Europe. So based on the idea or triggered by the idea of this University of Chicago initiative, volunteers all over Europe gathered together, organize themselves, mainly in the capitals of Europe, and provide data science services to social organizations in their free time. So the typical profile of a data scientist who works in such an initiative will be described later on. However, now, for the time being, let us think about a professional data scientist who has a well-paid job and provides services to social organizations in her or his free time. So the goal is to provide service or support organizations like NGOs or social organizations that help the society. So therefore, the data science supports the social organizations and therefore leverages his or her own knowledge in order to help those organizations to work with the data. And what is data science for social good about? It's about decision making, or to support people in charge with data-driven decision making. And the beneficiaries of these services are NGOs, governments, social organizations, organizations that are linked to education, health, or public welfare. So all the public organizations that you might think about. So it's a kind of wide scope of these organizations that are the beneficiaries of this social data science. For instance, we do have, next to data science for social good, we also have the label DataKind that is similar to the data science for social good movement. Also, DataKind can be summarized as an organization that offers services in their free time or offers services to social organizations. And they use data science and artificial intelligence to improve the capabilities of social organizations and to provide access to data-driven decision making. And DataKind goes back to the name of Data for Good. And this was basically one organization that was among the first organizations outside the university. So here you can see there are different initiatives joined together with the same idea. And they started in 2010, 2011, and the goal was to match data scientists with non-profit organizations or small companies. So therefore, this organization is similar to the brand of data science for social good, and the goal is to provide data science service for social organizations. Typically, when it comes to DataKind, regarding when we refer to the information that is available about these organizations. They offer, on the one hand, summer fellowship trainings or so-called hackathons or datatons that are basically meant to tackle a predefined project within a 24-hour challenge, so that all people gather together who are volunteering and who are willed to work on data science projects in their free time and try to find a solution to this predefined problem. So then also, in addition to data science for social good and to DataKind, there is the brand Correlate, which has to be mentioned in the field of data science for social good. And Correlate supports also social organizations and has also the similar goals like DataKind or the data science for good, so data science for social good movement, and they also help social organizations. Correlate is a large community in comparison to DataKind, at least in Germany. They do have 2,400 data science volunteers and who are willed to work on social projects in their free time. So they provide the service pro bono, so it's for free for the social organizations, and typically teams between 3 and 8 volunteers work on projects. In general, to sum up these initiatives, like Data Science for Social Good, DataKind, and Correlate, we have to say that there also exist smaller initiatives that we didn't mention here, but we will provide the names of all initiatives on our platform. There we have a European map that you get the overview. And the similar idea between all those, or the same idea between all those initiatives, is that highly paid professional or well-paid professional data scientists or PhD students or master students come together, are organized under such a name of the mentioned names: Correlate, Data Science for Social Good, and DataKind, and their goal is to help the society by providing help to the social organizations. As these teams are organized individually, they also have individual composition of skill sets for each city they work in, and therefore they also have heterogeneous projects they work on because the projects depend on the contacts each team has. So this is, for the time being, the literature that we were referring to, and we see each other again in the next session.